Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are joining us after watching the Waterjet Channel's video, welcome. We're going to be picking up exactly where we left off with them. And if you're one of my subscribers, if you haven't seen it already, go ahead and check out the Waterjet Channel's video. I've got a link to it in the description. But essentially, we've got a piece of Yooperlite, which is a stone that glows under a UV light. So they've cut out a slab that'll be just perfect for ring making for me. And you can see it's really cool. It glows under a black light, and I think a ring made out of it will be really interesting. So obviously we're gonna have plenty of design challenges. This is rock, so super fragile, brittle. I'm not gonna be able to use the lathe for much, if at all. It's going to be mostly by hand, so just with the Dremel. And so I've got a bunch of different bits at my disposal. I've got these diamond coated bits here. Those should be really handy and just for carving. Then I've got this cutoff disc here, and then just everything you see on here, plus a bunch more in my drawer. So we're gonna be using a bunch of different accessories, and we're just gonna be hand carving a donut shape out and then forming it into a much better looking ring. That's the goal. And to get started, I'll use this diamond coated hole saw here. That'll give us a rough pattern to go after. So I'll go over to the drill press, cut this out, but I'm not going to cut all the way through. If I did, it would end up detaching the piece, flinging it around inside of here and probably breaking it. So I'm just gonna cut maybe 3/4 of the way through with this and then finish it up by hand using a cutoff disc, and we'll go from there. So it should be a really fun video, and I think the results are gonna be really interesting. So it should be a pretty fun video. I'm excited to work with this material. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we got this cut out most of the way. You can see that hole goes down almost to the other side of this, but not quite. So now I can use my diamond cutoff wheel, stick it in the Dremel, and then I'm going to slowly just carve away at it from the other side, and then we should have ourselves a nice little circle. All right, we got our circle cut out. You can see the piece we cut it from. That actually went really smoothly. Just cut it using this diamond cutoff wheel. Now, I'm gonna switch over to this accessory. This is just coated in diamonds. I'm just gonna try to bore the whole thing out and see if we can't get a donut shape to form. All right, real quick, I just wanted to show something to you guys. So I'm getting it hollowed out pretty nicely using this diamond bit, and it's holding up really well. It's not losing its edge or anything like that. And I want to show you what would happen if we were just trying this with a regular sanding wheel. First of all, we wouldn't have been able to bore through it like that because this doesn't have sandpaper on this surface, but this diamond bit does. So right off the bat, we couldn't even do it with one of these. But now that we've got it to this point, I just want to show you just how hard this rock is. It's hard as a rock. Sorry. Okay, so got this in my Dremel, and I'll just show you. It's not super apparent, but pretty much it's just polishing this. You can see that it's just barely even eating away anything. It's mostly just rubbing it smooth. And you can tell by the dust it gives off. There's not a lot happening here. So yeah, that's barely doing anything. If anything, it's just kicking up dust that's already sitting on the ring. And it's just ruining the sandpaper almost immediately. So this definitely would not be possible without these diamond bits. So that's something that's extremely challenging about this. Just very, very weird, very difficult material to work with. But it's been going okay. I've just got this really solid diamond bit here, and I'm just slowly working my way. It's probably been about 20 minutes now, and we're starting to get some pretty good progress. We're getting close to a real ring shape, so it's looking good. All right, so we've got this hollowed out pretty much as far as we can go. I think it'd start getting brittle, a little too brittle, if I try to take it any further. And you can see it fits this finger. It's a little bit bulky looking right now, but that's how any ring would look at this stage. I'm going to do a few things to mitigate that, but right now, there's a few spots where like it's a little bit thinner right here and a little bit thicker right now. So I'm gonna go in by hand and I'm going to sand down any of the high points and try to even the whole thing out. And then after that, I'm going to give the ring a comfort finish. That'll just make it a lot more comfortable to wear. And then I'm gonna do a similar kind of rounded profile to the outer diameter of the ring. That'll make the whole thing really smooth and really natural looking. I want this to look like it's a natural ring, and that goes for the shape as well. So it just looks like it's maybe been rolling down a river for the last 1,000 years, getting a nice rock tumbled look to it. Almost like you can see the rock we cut it from. It's really rounded. It's just been naturally rounded into a ring. So same thing goes for this, just going for a natural look. All right, so I've got all of the shaping done for the ring. And you can see it actually turned out really nice and even. It's got good rounded profile. It's genuinely comfortable to wear, and it's not just comfortable for a rock ring, it's comfortable for any type of material. So really happy with that. And I just think it's really interesting how I didn't even use the lathe for this. This is completely shaped by hand, and it's pretty even. It's really nice. And so I'm really glad with the way this turned out. So, as you heard me say earlier, the sandpaper is not very effective on this, and so for polishing we're going to have some fairly limited options. So we just finished up with this diamond bit. What I think I'll do, so this is really coarse, I'll give it a go with my Dremel. So I've got my coarsest Dremel bit here, and then here's a much finer one. And so I will go around the whole thing and just sand it all down and just do whatever I can with this. Hopefully get it a little bit smoother, a little bit shinier. And then once I get rid of all of the scratches, I'm going to go and use a clear coat. And I think that should really bring out the color on this. It's kind of pretty subtle right now, but I think once we hit it with that clear coat, we're really going to see a lot of the color pop. And then at the end, you'll see, here I've got the black light right here. These lighting conditions are pretty terrible to show this off. But we do have some really nice glow on this. So at the end, I'll give you guys a better look. But for now, I'll just go ahead and get started with the Dremel, and then we'll hit it with that clear coat, and we should be ready to show it off. All right, that actually worked really well. You can see just based on the color of it, how the polish is. The lighter and more washed out it looks, the rougher it is, and the more vibrant and rich the colors are, the more polished it is. So it's already starting to brighten up and look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and wash it off with some alcohol to get rid of any of the dust, any of the grease or anything like that. And then we'll hit it with that clear coat and we should be finished. And you can see when it's wet, that's kind of a good preview of how to look polished. So we still have a lot of color to bring out of this, so I'm excited to see how it looks. All right, here's the ring. Check it out. You can see that clear coat just really makes those colors pop. Really like it. And we haven't seen the coolest trick of them all. We're gonna turn off the lights and check it out under the UV light. So here it is under the UV light, and you can see just how that orange color pops out of there. It's really interesting. And one thing we noticed is it doesn't really correlate to any of the features on the rock itself. So when you turn off the light, you can't really tell where that orange is. So it's really mysterious. I'm not even sure how it works. So very interesting material. And as you can see from the pictures, it's an absolutely beautiful ring. I love organic materials like this just because they're so detailed. We took these really nice macro shots, and you can see when you zoom in, it just does not stop giving you more and more details. The more you zoom in, the more detailed it looks. So it's a super interesting material, and it's just a lot of fun to work with, and it was really interesting to make a ring without a lathe and one that was so fragile and have it work out so well. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe, give it a like if you'd like. But other than that, I hope you have a good rest of this week, and I'll see you in the next video.